All right, we'll start the meeting. So we have a few things for executive. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have
Two sessions.
Two personnel. I would like to add, I guess that's also personnel. Town report dedication. I just wanted to discuss in executive because we really need to get that taken care of. Anybody have anything else?
Make a motion, we do that after the meeting.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any need to amend the agenda?
No, none that I know of.
Okay.
Move to accept the agenda.
Second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, anything on the, well, actually we had 4 separate minutes. Does anybody see any need for corrections on any of those? I didn't, I read. Okay. Yeah, we're ready to send it, yeah. Thank you.
Joe.
I gotta go get something to drink. I'll be right back.
You gotta sign that one tomorrow.
Oh, I missed one?
You missed one.
Sorry. Joe.
Mark needs it
That
too.
one back.
I'd have done by you too, I think.
Just trying to help.
About coordination.
All right. All right, any questions on the orders?
The Innovative Surface Solutions. Can you remind me of that? Sure. Is that the program for the?
What we mix our salt with.
I'm sorry?
What we mix our salt with.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, it's our dust control and
Okay.
This last order
I didn't
was our-
recognize the magic line.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's new. It's a new,
no, that's the same.
has it always said that?
Always Magic Lines,
Okay.
yeah, that's
How
for,
long is that gonna last?
this load,
Yeah.
the way the weather's going. Last one we got.
Yeah, or it could be.
Usually, I think we get about two to three loads of
Okay.
that per season. Again, depending on the
That's okay,
season.
yeah. I just didn't pick up on that. I was,
Yeah.
and, Wex Bank. 1604, it's more like what is Wex Bank though?
Innovative surface solutions, they're additive. I'm not sure what he's just asked about. Mark, what were you, which one were you
I
asking
just asked
about?
about Wex Bank.
Yeah, I wondered about that one too.
Well, it says,
160440.
yeah. I see that, but I don't recognize the number.
Highway, something to do with highway,
Fire, rec.
fire, rec, police, vehicle, fuel.
Maybe, is it a treatment?
Not ringing a bell?
That's why.
Okay, Exxon, it's the gas card. ExxonMobil. Wex Bank bought out that bank.
That's why we don't
That's
know.
why-
That's why we don't
I
know.
never heard
Okay.
about it.
Yeah,
That's why.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that's all I have.
Joe, did you have something?
Oh, yeah, well, the police Durango exhaust system 1739, and then it says new Durango setup $4,566. Is that all the same vehicle? And that setup thing,
No, the setup's the new one, I
I'm
think.
curious what that might be for.
The setup is probably putting the radios and the lights and all that
Because
stuff.
it's the new
It's the
vehicle.
new one. Yeah, it's new
Well,
vehicle.
that answers that.
I guess the only thing I wanted to bring up was in appropriations. If you look at Green Up Vermont's letter that they send out, last I knew we were 2,000 to 3,000 people in town. That's only $150. We're giving them 200, so I mean it's $50, but still
Yeah, I saw
we're
that too, yeah.
over.
Overpaid.
So another year, we need to keep an eye on that.
Now on the Marble Valley Transit, 5,000.
That's the bus.
That's the
Yeah, I know.
bus.
It,
Yeah.
I know it seems like a lot. So that's what I'm asking.
Oh, that's done every year.
Well,
Yeah,
is that
I mean, I don't know where that
is
number
the
came from,
standard
but-
amount?
Yeah, it's standard.
it
Yep.
seems to be what, it's been close to.
Yeah, it used to be started out at 3 and it's worked its way up to.
Well, I think that's one of the ones we're required to pay, like the
Yeah.
ambulance
Yeah.
service,
Right, it
right?
is.
So there's
Well,
no-
Yeah,
that's
they-
kind of what I was wondering. If
Yeah.
that's one of those
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
two stops just here in town,
Yeah,
right?
there are people
The
right.
church and then at
all the time.
Kamuta's.
Church, Kamuta's, yeah.
And the Rutland Area Community Service, is that a standard amount, the 3020 as well? The 3,020?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's always been in there.
And the same thing with the court diversion and the 3,600, that's what we're allotted.
That's. Yeah.
That one has to have a formula. It's
That
like
one
Rutland
does,
County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the county
Yeah.
formula,
So-
yeah.
All right.
Based on
That's all I got.
population, I think. I think that.
It would be nice if we had what last year's appropriations were, and then we could see what, if they'd raised it or not. But,
Yeah, well, the
in
individual
the
letters that they
report, yeah.
sent.
yeah, we
have-
could look at all.
Yeah, they have put that, you know.
Most of them are pretty
Nobody's
much
asked for
standard,
more, I don't
yeah.
think, this year, so.
Not that I'm aware of.
If, like, say, another year, if it was possible, just put the years, and then we could,
Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
just for reference.
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'm too picky.
No, that's,
No,
it
you're
is, no,
not.
I like to see
No,
things like
you're
that as
not.
well.
No, because it's money we don't control.
Yep.
You know, once it's out of here, they control it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the hydraulic study, is that just still, we're just still paying that off to Otter Creek?
Yeah, and it seems to be a little bit ongoing.
I know, I'm like, I feel like they're on here every,
Well, there's actually gonna be a new one too coming.
okay,
And it's one that's 100% covered by grant.
okay.
I sat in on a Zoom meeting to go over that with the whole group. And I'll have more information on that forthcoming to you. I think if I'm not mistaken, I forwarded that through email to you guys to let you know that I went on that meeting.
Okay.
Is that the packet that was in here? On that or no?
It might be. It's not, I don't think, that's not the same,
Not the same one,
I
right?
don't think so.
Okay.
Was it the one through FEMA, the FEMA one?
I don't think this was
That was just a
through
creek, that was
FEMA.
just a water
This is
creek,
just
Otter Creek watershed, right? That was
Yeah.
just,
Because
getting
there's
my
two going
studies,
on
yeah.
right now. He's finishing up the one that was already started before I came,
mhm.
even. And then now there's gonna be a new one, and that one's 100% covered. We
Okay.
don't pay.
Mhm.
Well,
You pay it, but
we
you
pay,
get
but
back.
then we get reimbursed
Right, yeah,
100%, so.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any questions on that? Okay. We can sign those, Brenda.
Okay. I tried to keep them in the best order. So that, back to that question about the hydraulic, I put inside my manager minutes,
Mhm.
I gave more detail.
Oh, okay.
So if you, it's like the third up from the bottom. It explains it.
Just signing.
You're having a hard time with that sticker, Joe.
I didn't see my name printed there, so I wanted to make sure I signed it in the right place, and I probably still have it. It's on here somewhere, probably. I think I got through it.
That was just the top one?
Just the top one.
I think so, yeah. I don't know why those other stickers are on there.
Yeah.
Just the top one, Joe.
Stickers are fun to
Joe,
put on
yeah.
things.
Just the top one. I don't know why those stickers are on there.
Yeah,
No.
actually for the supervisors.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are,
What I do is when I go through that, just one, they're missing, I flag them all,
Yeah, yeah.
because for audit,
Mhm.
they really need to have them signed.
Yeah.
No, just the top one, Joe. Just the top one, I think. As far as I know.
There was a place
I know there's all kinds, but
There's another one down here.
yeah, but
just
I
the top
guess, yep. Well, no, you'll have to pull that other one out too. I don't understand why it's.
Well, there's so many because we missed that meeting. That's why it's not usually this big.
Right.
Mark
That
on
goes to
there.
Mark, yep.
Going both ways, Mark.
Come back at it.
There's another one in there too.
Another one in here.
I didn't
It's like,
sign that.
it's like Christmas. Here you go, Joe. This next one for you too. Already signed that one.
Just this one?
And this more.
No. Hmm? There's that one. What about these, the ballot clerks
Yeah, you can
and
sign that one.
tax refunds, we gotta sign those?
Yep, yep, you do.
Wait, whose signature, who's the only one that did sign those?
Mark.
Nice job.
It's gotta go back. Jesus.
Oh my
I got those on the bottom.
My goodness.
Come back to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm on the end.
Yeah, we've got it all sorted out to make you look good.
He said
Tommy,
over
you're
there
still in the
watching
empty
us.
spots.
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
Oh my god. Alright.
Been good so far when it gets to me.
Oh boy.
We got more of them than usual, or what?
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Last meeting, so. We've got those.
Alright.
There, we got them all.
Now that we got that out of the way.
So, well,
Holy smokes. Alright. Town manager's report.
Alright, so, I think, initially I put down that the Agency of Transportation was gonna be coming by again to evaluate, but I don't think they're coming again. I think they're finished doing whatever work they're gonna do. We continue to still, be working on, ordinances. I still have those that are the most critical for us to sign. The weights and measures is really critical. Work is continuing on the budget with revisions, reductions, adjustments. I've continued to try to find funding sources for the Fire Hill Culvert. The project, as of right now, is actually in the hands of an engineer at the state level. That's what I was told. But I'm still waiting to hear back if they have any additional questions. But there still is a chance that we may get funding for that
Okay.
large project. So I'm hopeful. There was a budget session. This was way back now for the, it would have been at the last meeting, but the CUD has decided, as you know, to change the algorithm for the distribution of cost for the mosquito district. But they voted to hold it off till the next session. So the algorithm that's currently in place, they're gonna use that now. And then next year, when we get ready to do the budget session again for them, they'll use the new algorithm. They formed a group that's actually gonna just manage redoing the algorithm. And it has to do with population size, housing and that sort of thing.
One
So,
town dropped out. One town dropped out.
Maybe
Up
south.
in Mosquito District, didn't they?
They're back in.
Salisbury
They're
that
back.
dropped out.
They're
Yeah,
back.
if I didn't think
So
they
are we
left
talking
town.
about the CUD or the mosquito
No,
district?
yeah,
I'm
wrong,
sorry.
wrong acronym.
Okay, sorry.
Well, no,
I used the
I,
wrong acronym.
okay,
I'm talking right now about the
mosquito district, okay,
and
all right,
budget.
okay.
Yeah.
Wanted to
So,
clarify.
yeah, sorry about that. The CUD, yeah, I used the wrong algorithm in my notes. The CUD, I have not heard anything new on, other than they're gonna use both vendors, so there is no update to that at this
Okay.
point. The mosquito district, getting back to that, it's pretty much what I said. They're gonna redo the algorithm to better define which towns pay which dollar amounts. And it's gonna be based upon population size, new housing that goes into play, and that sort of thing. It's supposed to be more fair and equitable. Veterans Day celebration went off, but with a couple of hitches, but I think it was okay. The town folks seemed to be pleased. I enjoyed being a part of that and honoring all those that served in the military in any capacity. My father was in the military, so very strong ties to that. Union negotiations have begun. We had our first meeting. I'm preparing right now to draft a rough contract for the board for you folks to review and change if you want to. I don't really think it's gonna be a lot of changes to look at. It seems to just be focused on probably 3 or 4 items primarily. So some of it was language with regards to payment for standby and call-in time. I think it needed more clarity. It was very confusing right now. And because we have standby and call-in pay for 2 different departments, it's not really the same for each of them. What one does is different from what the other does, so that needs to be separated out. That's probably gonna be the largest one. There was I was contacted because there was a new grant introduced for speed feedback signs. And I'm gonna apply for that, so hopefully we'll get lucky.
Were those the
also-
were those the
Oh.
permanent ones? I know we discussed at one point about possibly doing permanent ones.
Yeah,
Is that what
that's
that's
what
for?
I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
okay.
Yep, those are the ones that you put in the ground.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep,
that
okay.
Tell you how fast you're going. Yeah. There lately has been numerous citizen complaints regarding blight issues in town. So it's an ongoing delicate situation, trying to have that managed. But I have had people actually come into my office and talk to me about a few locations. Those have been forwarded over to the zoning officer to look into further. And then the next section was about what we had started talking about with regards to the testing, for the hydraulic testing. This kind of, the notes in here kind of go over what that is all about and the reimbursement at 100%. Some of it started before I came on board. The town employees decided on having a Christmas luncheon. We all got together at the last staff meeting, and it was unanimous that we were gonna do a luncheon on I think it was the 14th at noon. And I was asked, would it be acceptable to the board to allow us to close town hall at noon on that day, just to have that celebration? I was asked to ask you.
Don't we usually, haven't we done that before?
We have, I think, in the past.
Yeah.
So you're
I think
talking
we
for
have.
an hour, noon to 1, that, or
Or
talking
they
for the
cut
rest of the day?
The rest of the.
Probably the rest of the
The
day.
rest of the day?
Yeah. I just didn't, this
And
is
that's
what
a Friday, you said?
It's a Wednesday.
A Wednesday?
Normally, we're open till 4:30 on Wednesdays.
Yeah. It's not one of the long days.
They wanted to close at what time, Brenda? 1?
Noon
Noon?
or 1.
I wonder if we should just maybe extend it to
Or
1
something, you
and
probably have to.
if you're gonna do it.
Shift. Yeah, if we have inclement weather, definitely we'd have to shift
Well,
gears
yeah, I'd
anyway.
have
Yeah.
to forego it, but
That
I
wouldn't
don't have a
apply.
big problem with it myself, but.
No, I mean, if you do, I guess I'd say if you can wait till
If we
one.
wait till 1 would be kind of my
Yeah.
That
suggestion.
gives
1,
people, if there's people are coming in
wanna
on
come
their
in
lunch break.
during their
or
lunch
whatever,
hour to
okay.
get stuff done. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that would
All
make
right, I'll let
sense to
everybody
me.
know.
And can you post that on the website?
Absolutely.
Pronto?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone knows.
And, yeah, and I'd put something on the door too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can also put something down at Keith's and Kamuta's.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I would.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the Facebook
Yep.
page.
Thank you.
Yep.
The other kind of big question I had is, my last little item is, because Christmas Eve falls on a Saturday, how do you folks, or in the past, have you handled the transfer station hours? Whenever we've had an actual holiday.
I don't know.
Do you ever,
Oh,
I'll say, yeah,
Well,
Thanks, Kelly.
you probably can, yes.
They were open
they were,
on the eve, but
right,
if it was Christmas Day, they were closed.
closed.
And would pick up another day the following week because of the influx
Right.
of cardboard and Christmas stuff.
Papers
Makes
and all
sense,
that
yeah.
stuff,
That makes
so
sense.
you just keep the normal hours that day?
They did, yeah,
Okay.
forever.
That's what I wanted to know, what direction, because I was asked if we were closing it or closing early or giving
Christmas
folks the
Eve, we
opportunity
don't
to come
normally,
another day.
Even retail stays open on Christmas Eve till, say, 5 o'clock or so.
Right,
Might
yeah.
shut down a little earlier.
So it's business as usual?
Usually it's business as usual,
Okay.
if it's a business.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, a lot of people, Saturday morning's the only time they can get there, or Saturday's the
Yeah,
only time they can get there.
Brenda,
Okay,
one question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get the first draft of the contract for the union negotiations by next meeting?
Yeah. Yep, I was actually planning on sending something out next week,
That's great.
maybe the beginning part of the week,
Yep, that
Monday or
was-
Tuesday.
That was my only question.
Yeah. Yep. That's all I have.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Any select board member remarks?
Yeah, I'd like to comment on the Veterans Day. That was an excellent affair, I
Mhm.
thought.
It was.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Kids did a nice job. Everything
Mhm.
was really, really well done.
Yeah.
Yep,
Glad you
it
guys-
was very nice.
I know a lot of-
Actually, it was a better attended one this year, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people here, which was, the weather cooperated too,
Yeah.
which was nice. So,
We did
Good
try to
job.
get bagpipes.
I know.
Struck out, I mean, we
Oh, well,
tried to get
always next
bagpipes
year.
from anyone who does that. And it was, it's a busy time, I guess, for those folks,
Oh,
so they
yeah.
were booked solid.
Well, I'll just mention that, so two of Senator Sanders' staffers were here today to give us some ideas for grants for different areas, and then also just to kind of take some feedback from us, what, maybe issues we had, so. I told him they should ask Bernie to please hurry up and get our Route 7 sidewalks done.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets the message.
There you go.
Any public comment? Everybody's on the agenda, right? So, okay, Chad, highway truck update?
Yes. Since the one that truck we agreed to purchase was supposed to be like here by now, supposedly crashed or somehow became unavailable. On the way, I just dug around. Howard Fairfield, the dealer in New Hampshire, they have trucks in stock ready to be built. They're, I don't know if you guys get a copy of the latest.
Yep.
Or something. So it's basically the same truck. Difference is their bodies are stainless steel and it's stainless steel sander, so there's a price difference of $19,631.
Wow.
But it'll be ready, scheduled to be built in January. And we'd have it, I think they usually take maybe a month, 2 months. They have everything in stock, so we'd have it, I would like to think by March. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I think March, where the one that is on order is scheduled to be built, the truck itself, to be built in May.
Okay.
then that's gotta get built, get brought to Viking to be, so.
Mm.
We're looking at probably the end of the year before we even see that one. So, just a kinda option if we wanna, yes, it is, the money, not ideal, but
Right.
something we'd have, and, I mean, it is a stainless steel body versus a painted one, so, I mean, it is a better,
That's a
better
lot
body, better
longer.
equipment.
Well, it'll last a lot longer for sure.
Yeah, well,
Wait,
So now which truck, or is
That's
this?
the 550
That's the
that
550.
the water department's gonna purchase from us, and we've already kept, I mean, it's 12 years now, where normally we get rid of it in 8.
we've never had a stainless steel body before, I don't think.
No, not
Is
since I've
that-
been here.
A possibility of carrying that body onto the next truck, or is that kinda out anyway?
No, I would think.
It might be an
move that
advantage
one,
to
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and, I mean, like I said, we've gotten 12 years out of the current 550. I mean, we did replace the body on it. But if the truck holds up, I mean, we can plan on keeping it for another 12 years, you know, so it's everything at one, you know, and then see how the body is at that point.
Just how many miles on that one?
Around 90. I don't know the exact.
Okay, no, I just roughly.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's, yeah, not a lot of mileage, but poor thing, it works hard when it goes out.
Well, yeah, but I'm just thinking, you know, with that mileage, if everything held up, you could get, you know, quite a few more years out of it. Not this one, but one with a stainless body.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
The one we're replacing, are we trading it in, or are
That's
we?
the water and sewer department's purchasing that one, so we'll still have that as a
Back up.
backup
We-
as well.
We
so.
have sometimes put them up for bid. And
We already decided that three
Yeah.
meetings ago. That's been done.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're, so, but yeah, like I said, it's basically, rather than waiting another year,
Right.
we can get something a little sooner. Yeah, just gotta have the okay, and then we can sign it, and, because they've already filled one slot for January. I don't wanna rush you guys, but
Yeah,
so
no,
I've kind of been working on, and they,
Yeah.
I know
you know, if we
550s
wanna
are
hold it,
extremely hard to get.
let them know
Yeah, yeah.
as soon as possible.
If
so.
he doesn't, if I don't sign something, then we're probably gonna be out of the loop for that.
So,
He's holding off until you talk to him, right?
yeah,
You told
I'm
him
gonna
we're
call him
gonna
tomorrow.
be talking, yeah.
I'll call the salesman tomorrow, and, so, I mean, I've already asked him if he could hold it until we have the discussion, but they can't without a signed
Mhm.
quote, so.
We've got the funds. So it is-
Yeah, I mean,
we're not gonna
it's
get
already been approved.
caught with
to
a
purchase
one-legged
this,
or
so.
a pants funding
Yeah,
it.
no,
in
we
the
got,
budget, I
we're,
guess.
we're good
Yeah.
with,
Might not be a bad idea to try a stainless steel body.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we could get another,
And get another
we get another 5, 6
10
years
years.
out of the truck.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
Chad, how
Worth it.
much was it when you replaced that other body on the 550?
just the body.
just the body, I
Was
think it was 8,000?
9,000,
8, 9,
yeah.
yeah,
Close to, yeah.
About half then.
yeah.
Won't rot out,
And
that's for
since we're
sure.
keeping the truck, I mean, it was like worth it, because
Well, yeah.
the truck is
Yeah.
in decent shape, just makes me worry a little bit, you know, when we get major storm going out. You know, it is getting tired.
Yeah.
I hate to ask,
Go
I hate to
ahead,
ask,
I don't
but I'm
care.
gonna ask this before we make a motion.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we can do without 20,000 in the budget? You know,
Not really.
Is there some other piece that we can put off if we do this?
Of
Anything?
Of any
You have
equipment?
planned-
Oh, of any
Yeah.
my money?
Period.
Wish
Yeah, your money.
list.
Your money, yeah.
There goes your bucket truck.
Well, yeah, I think that was gone already. On top of my head, I can't think of anything other than paving, cutting back on my, I mean, actually, as you get to it tonight, I did adjust that a little bit. Anyways, I did cut that back, trying to
Mhm.
work with you guys, as much as I hate to. But, Yeah, really, other
That's
than,
about it.
yeah, I mean, I've kind of looked at it, I mean, well, like the chloride, the magic, and
The
that liquid, I mean, I got my expense report. Pat emails it to me monthly, so I can see where I'm at, and we're already over budget for that on this year, which is, you know, why it's quite a bit more for next year's budget. And, yeah, so I mean, it's just, and that price is only gonna keep going up.
So we have a replacement fund for the.
But the equipment, we
Yeah.
have the money in.
You got the money in
anyways,
there, so
yeah.
it's not like we're robbing to get somewhere.
Right, and I'm not
No,
planning
but
on
still.
buying a.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, at least the money that we're not gonna have to,
Even if I was, I can't, so.
right, no. I just wanna make that clear that the money is there.
Right, yeah, there's plenty of money in the equipment fund for
But it's,
this.
do they have a better warranty on this?
Stainless steel and rock.
Hold up longer than
Yeah.
needed anyway. on that.
Yeah.
It is a better truck.
Definitely.
I'll make the motion to approve this.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
I
there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Excuse me,
plan on driving it
Yes.
for a while.
I might have missed my chance to speak. I'm not on the agenda.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't
no, that's okay.
know the protocol.
Yep.
Now a good time?
Yeah, that would, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Dan Kipout, I live over in East Pittsford. I'm here in regards to enforcement of the junk ordinance. Over in our area, it is quite a problem. I've got some pictures here, if anyone's interested. It is an eyesore. I just have tried to, you can pass this around.
Okay.
I've talked to various people about these and these problems, and I'm not really getting anywhere. You can pass that right around.
No, no, you're fine.
The junk ordinance is a little bit specific about these problems and how to enforce that.
Yeah, I guess they're all the same.
Oh, are they? Okay.
I used to be able to talk to Bruce Babcock, and he would go and talk to these people
I guess
and
not.
take care of it.
That one is.
Guess he doesn't do it anymore. So I talked to Richard Bowman this spring, and I didn't get anywhere with him either. So
Oh, the address is on
the addresses are on the back. So I'm just asking for help and enforcement. It is unsightly. It's only a couple residents. It's not everybody. They're all the same. They're all the same. This was in the newsletter in the spring, making us
Yeah.
aware
Where's the
that
house?
there is a junk ordinance. So when I saw that, I got hope. I'm like, well, the town is aware, but nothing's really happening.
East Pittsford.
Yeah,
Long Trail Road.
Yeah, the address is on the back.
This is a copy of the ordinances, the junk ordinance, if anybody's interested. That's all I have is 2 copies of this.
Beach Street, I know where Shadow Lane is. Where's Beach Street?
I know it
Is
is.
that off Shadow Lane?
Yeah, it's a little hook in there.
Yeah, okay, that's that little hook.
4 residents there, that's it. No, we have to worry about rodents, we have to worry about water runoff, contamination, that type of thing. People just shouldn't be allowed to accumulate stuff like this. The pickups, what they're doing is loading the bed of the pickups up with this stuff and then just throwing mattresses on top of it and leaving the pickups sitting there. Now, there's children living in some of these residences. Is there any way anybody can help me here?
I guess the next step is to send Jeff out.
Send Jeff by Zuzu.
Yeah, our zoning administrator.
Okay, I talked to Jeff, and about 10 minutes into the conversation, he said to me, we've talked to these people, and they pretty much say, we've lived this way for years, that's the way it is. So I didn't get anywhere with Jeff.
All right.
Well, maybe we need to talk to Jeff.
We'll talk to Jeff.
I mean, clearly some of this is,
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue whether a car is junk or not, but there's clearly bags
Yeah.
of garbage.
Exactly,
That's,
exactly.
which that's, you know,
Dumping the
And
garbage.
we have appliances built up for junk day or whatever. The ordinance say that if you want to gather this stuff, put up a fence. Get it out of view of public and your neighbors. The ordinances are, they can even tell you how to stack your firewood. That's how these ordinances are written. They're written in 2007, so they're fairly current, and it does say how to enforce it. Yeah, you can knock on these people's doors, they don't answer them. There's other ways I think we can deal with that, maybe catch them at the school bus, follow the kids home from school, something like that, you know, I mean, there's ways of dealing with these people. But if I can help with this, I'd appreciate it. It's been going on for a few years now, it's basically the same family, and their last name were Flanders. But if we can get a handle on it, because it's getting out of hand,
Yeah,
I would appreciate it.
absolutely.
I guess what we probably need to do is have a chat with Jeff.
Start there.
We'll start there.
Okay?
We'll look at our ordinances, see what you want.
The copies are right there, and
Yeah,
it tells you
the
what you can
ordinances.
do, it tells you what the
Pretty
fines
clear.
are. Yeah, it's pretty clear what needs to be done. So I know we're coming into winter. At one time, one of the residents had over 30 bags built up, and I believe it was Bruce went over and talked to the person, and it was all cleared up within a week. These people are just pushing the limits to see what they can get out, get away with, and this is what's going on, so.
Thank you for bringing that to our
He came
attention.
and visited me.
Where this is, does the guy that lives there own the place, or don't you have any idea? Maybe it's a rental, or you have no idea about that?
At the trailer, there is, the residence does live there, at, I think, 130 Beach Street, it's a tenant. And the landowner is right across the road at, I think it's 89, I'm sorry, what's the address there? 98 Beach Street, so you can talk to the landlord at 98 Beach Street in regards to 130 Beach Street. And then the other one is the David Flanders residence. And that's where the appliances have been building up. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. Do we have a health inspector?
Huh?
Is there a health inspector?
There is.
Who's our health inspector?
He wasn't helpful at all.
Yeah, because I mean, if we're talking garbage.
Maybe we should have him come in with Jeff as well.
Yeah, I think we should have both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it's garbage. I mean, that's, yeah.
That's just rat tracked up.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
is.
No, and then you got a problem when rats come in.
Exactly.
And you have other things, and that's.
We've had a
Or
problem
with all the
with bear.
bears that are around, you end up with bears coming in to get in the bags of garbage.
The people wanted to shoot the bear, and the game ward said, no, you can't do that, that's entrapment. So, if you walk through the woods over there, you're gonna find many bags that have been opened by the bear, and the people haven't picked them up.
Well,
So,
so there's,
it's,
smug them away.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, Village Farm Grant Agreement document.
Yes.
We just need to sign that, correct?
Yeah, this is the resolution. It's just, because right now it's like at a holding pattern until that is submitted. I put a copy of the email in case anyone wanted to
VLCT,
know.
right, looked at it?
Pardon?
VLCT looked at it, right?
VLCT said it's standard? Yeah.
Yep.
This is the third one, isn't it?
Yes.
I think this is the third one.
I think so, isn't it?
That's the third.
For this grant?
That's right, because we came in and signed one a few months ago.
Yeah.
Over,
It's the planning grant.
Right.
yeah, I forget over how many, it's been over, every year for the last 3 years?
Yes.
I have a copy. Yeah.
Alright, on the Route 7, Otter Creek Engineering estimate, so it came at 18.5.
Yep, this is to complete your plans, so that if the state does come through and get ready to do this process, if we don't have this plan on record, they won't do it.
Okay,
So it would definitely hold up our completion.
and there's no chance of that going up, right?
No, not if you sign this.
Just making sure.
And no one can figure out why this one piece
You just need
wasn't
one-
done.
You just need the one signature of
That's
Alicia.
Yeah, it could just be Alicia on that one.
Just Alicia.
Well, yeah. Yeah, 'cause it's not that
It's a,
big a section.
No?
No, small.
today's 7th?
Yep.
Pearl Harbor. Yeah, it is.
What was that?
Pearl Harbor Day.
Pearl Harbor Day.
They live in infamy.
Yep.
Alright, the, police taser quote.
Yeah, that's just kind of, that was enclosed in your packet for review. And I think,
I thought we'd already moved on that, no?
it was
Oh.
I think it got tabled, didn't
Yeah.
it?
That's, yeah, that's what Kelly just said.
Yeah, I
so.
think it did.
I believe Chief is here. Do you have any questions in particular?
So are these new tasers, Mike, or Billy?
Yeah.
No, to replace the ones you have?
Yeah, 5-year contract is what it is, and the big thing about it, Dave, is the fact that it covers up under their umbrella for liability. That's a huge thing.
That's why it costs so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So, the package is gonna include the tasers, cartridges and batteries. So every year, if batteries are low, we call them and say, we need a new battery or 2 or 3 new batteries. They supply the batteries every year. The training cartridges, the live cartridges, and that price is over the 5 years. Now, they did send me an email back in October and asked if we had an answer yet or if it's been brought up yet, and I said no. Starting, I think it was December 1st, the price was going up, but he didn't tell me by how much. So the price is gonna be a little bit different compared to what's sitting there now.
I just know it's like 2,000 something a year, but I can't.
Right, yeah.
The liability insurance is probably worth.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know it isn't right now.
Program
Just how
13,680.
often do you use those, roughly, do you think?
Oh,
Actually
Save
deploy the
them.
taser?
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
okay.
that's it.
Alright, thanks.
I don't think we've actually had a deployment yet, other than taking it out and displaying it. Which sometimes that's the only deterrent you need.
Well, yeah. Yeah, if people watch TV, they don't look pleasant.
Right. Well, I can tell you from experience,
They're
it's not
not, are
pleasant.
they?
that Bill back
Is that
there?
shooting yourself in the foot or?
No, that was,
somebody shoots
in
it.
order to carry here.
You had to,
you
yeah,
to
you
get
had to,
tased.
right, no, I understand, I was just joking with you.
Bill, did they give you an idea how much it was gonna go up?
He didn't say.
Nothing.
Kinda nice to know that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be nice to know.
You found it yet?
Yeah, I got mine.
Okay.
So they weren't gonna honor the quote as
No.
is.
They weren't gonna honor the quote and get us.
So my question is, how do we act on something that we don't know what we're acting on?
Do we wanna set a, what does it end up being? Cause this sheet
Oh,
doesn't, total?
the total, $13,680.
Over 5 years.
Over 5 years. So do we wanna set an approval as long as it doesn't go up more than 10%? If it goes up more than 10%, you need to come back to us? Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That way,
That's
you know,
Yeah.
if it goes up 100%, then we need to rethink the
Yeah,
whole
at
thing.
that point, I would say we don't need them anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so if, I will make that motion that we approve this as long as it's up, not up more than 10%, so that would be up another $1,360. So,
Still be under 15.
yeah, it'd be 14,600, yeah, whatever it is. So, and if it does go up more than that, come back to us.
Come back.
So I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yep,
Don't tell me you have that leeway, Bill.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't talk 5%.
Tell them the jerks only gave you 2% increase.
All right, coin drop ordinance, I think we already, it just
That
has
was
the
just
corrections on
signed,
it.
Yeah, and it just
So we
had to
just
be
need to sign it.
formalized, yeah.
Okay, so we need to vote on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second. Done yet.
Wait a minute.
Only was the date we
Wait a
changed
minute.
it. We extended
Yeah,
it.
Well, there was a couple things we changed in it,
Yeah.
but last time we,
There's one, yeah, you changed it to 15th from the first,
Right.
yeah.
which I'm not in favor of doing, so
No,
I'll tell you up front.
first is the 15th.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I
wanted
meant
it
to
go
say.
through Columbus
I
Day,
do
that's-
not want it to go through Columbus Day.
Oh.
That's too busy, so, but whatever.
You hit the out-of-state people.
All for the vote.
Pittsford people go down the back road.
So was there any further discussion on that? We had a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay. Back.
And Brenda, while we're signing that, the weights and measures ordinance, so is that changed? To to make some tickets enforceable, correct?
Correct.
But so it's different than what we already had in place?
It is.
Okay.
Because currently, when some of the police folks go to court, because we don't have the revisions in here,
Okay.
they get waived and we don't get the fines. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve that ordinance.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is it the wrong one on this one?
Well, I don't know if this is still part of that. What is that? Can you tell me what that says on top?
Oh, no, this is the social service appropriation fund.
Yep, that's the wrong one.
We didn't talk about that yet.
No, you
That's actually
didn't.
not even on the agenda for tonight.
No, it's not, so
Okay.
pass that back.
So, all right.
I'll just shred it.
Okay.
I'll shred it.
Yeah, need to read what I'm signing, I guess.
Just the one. Those were the two, there were two that got pulled. And I still had them in the packet. My
It's
stuff.
right here on top, Joe. You're on top. The other people.
Yep.
Everyone else is on the front.
This is new.
This is the right one.
All right, budget discussions, which I didn't see anything in my packet of the highway or assessor changes. Is that what you have in?
So what I sent you in this is just the revised, just a summary. If you wanted additional detail,
I got one. It's just a summary, right?
yeah, that's all I put in there. I didn't put a detail, because that would be,
No, I know, I just was, let me see.
Why is that?
I don't know, I don't, we got 800 pages of delinquent taxes.
Yeah.
Is that revenue? I don't understand why they're different. They should be the same. That's just the difference.
one was with 8.5%, but
Yeah, but that doesn't correlate. Smaller numbers on it.
Alright.
They're not very
Do we wanna hold on that and do, because I assume some of these other people.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we
we
can
can-
do that.
we
Give
can
me
do
time to
that.
find that stuff, yeah.
Yep.
Till we
Okay,
figure it out.
yep.
Do you want all the detail?
Let's just move on to new business, then we'll go back to budget discussions. Delinquent taxes, we just need to sign over to give you the authority to
Yeah.
collect said taxes, okay? So if you have that to sign.
No,
Vote on that, or?
I do not.
Yes, we do. All right, it's just
Won't
kind of
hurt to vote on it.
protocol, right,
Oh,
every
yeah.
year.
I don't, was there anything to sign for that, or is it just you approve it?
I don't know.
I think we just
Maybe it's
approved
just
you,
like send
authorize you to
pictures
sign
Okay,
it, yeah,
all right,
I
then
believe.
that's- All
So
right,
I'll make a motion to authorize Brenda.
To sign, yes, for the
Yes.
delinquent taxes.
okay.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Make it legal anyways.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
might as
yeah.
well. All right, Village Farm ARPA discussion.
Thanks, it's good to see you all here, and thank you for signing the planning grant.
Yes.
Third time around. Appreciate it very much. Okay, so knowing that there are ARPA funds around and that other groups in town are making requests, we want to make sure to make our case here too. I think everyone among you and in the community knows that the Pittsford Village Farm is a 501c3, and when it became a nonprofit organization, there were community meetings at which people articulated, citizens in town came out and articulated that the thing they most wanted to see the property used for was a community center and something that would help with the economic revitalization of the town. So, knowing that the select board had made it clear that we could not really be effective in getting funds from the town, we began looking for grant money in order to do the resurrection of that historic building that we all care for. So we have gone after, we started looking for different things that would meet the town's wish for community center and an economic revitalization within the grant funding community. And as I think you know from other visits that we've made to the board, we've had some very big success there because post-COVID, there were grantors who were looking to revitalize communities that had really been in isolation through those 3 years of COVID. So we've been excited that we've got nearly $1 million now committed from Bernie Sanders money and then later from the Northern Borders Regional Commission, which is a group that provides funds for community development in New Hampshire, New York, Maine, and Vermont. And that was the most recent award that we got in the amount of $335,000. So we're well on our way, but each of those grants requires a match from the Pittsford Village Farm. So simultaneously, we've got the beginnings of a capital campaign, and we're keeping our eyes out for more of the federal and state money that seems to be out there. And ARPA funds are one of those sources. So we wanted to make sure that we are under consideration as you all go through the list and the survey that went out to see how townspeople would like to use those ARPA funds. Tonight, I'm Lori Byram, and I'm currently serving as chair of the Pittsford Village Farm. Donna Wilson is a tremendous volunteer, and she's been behind a lot of the work on the grants that we've gotten so far. Melanie Parker is a board member, and I've asked her to do some speaking about the community aspect of what we're up to at the Pittsford Village Farm. And Donna's going to share with you some of the child care stuff that we're working on. Terry White has been working with the architects and the various permitting processes, historic and environmental, that you had to go through, that fortunately we got grants to cover. And I'd like to introduce Sam Stone, who is now our Outreach and Communications Director at the farm, which is great. And you start to see articles in the paper because Sam is making these connections that help us be more visible. So we went for, again, grants that would help us in the community, and it happens, and economic revitalization. And it happened that there's money out there in the state for problems that the whole state faces, like child care, and again, community revitalization. So we looked for grants, we looked at our program, and we thought, well, we could get some state and federal money around child care because that would bring in economic opportunity in town. There would be at least 3 or 4 positions in our child care center, and it would also draw back to Pittsford younger families, we would hope, who then could find good child care at the Pittsford Village Farm so that two parents can go back to work more easily. So we latched onto the idea of including child care. In terms of community development, Melanie will talk more, but with the closing of JR's, we need a cafe, don't you think?
Yeah.
Something where we can get a good cup of coffee, sit around and do town-related conversations to enrich the community sense that we've got. So Melanie will say a little bit more about what we've already done and some of our hopes there. Terry will share with you some of the renderings that are now completed thanks to some other little grants. But we would love, at the end of this evening, to have you have on your list of organizations that might deserve some of the ARPA funding that's out there, knowing that that is new money for the towns, and we would love to have a piece of it. So that said, Melanie just is going to do a few words on community, and Donna's going to say just a few words about the child care research that we did, and then Terry will show you some really good pictures. Thanks.
Okay.
Hello everyone, I think most of you know Melanie Parker. So as you know, there have been numerous events at the Village Farm already. There's the Tuesday concerts, there's been some collaboration with the Paramount for other productions at the farm. In comparing what our goals are for the Village Farm and the goals in the town plan, a lot of it is about bringing community together, having gathering places. As Terry shares our plans, you'll see we have a community center room as part of the plans in the building, and also a cafe space so that people can gather in a public, comfortable area inside as opposed to outside. Also, we see for the community room a place that people can rent or maybe not even rent, just use for meetings. Meeting space in town is quite limited for groups. There's the library and occasionally the school, but there's not a lot of meeting spaces in the town or a space to have a class, like a yoga class or something like that. So we see a lot of possibilities for that space that align with the town plan for sort of a centrally located community area. And I'd encourage you guys to take the time to look at the plans that Terry has, because they're really very good.
Thanks. Donna?
Okay. What I did is, I got this is from our business plan. So basically, it's kind of 3 major circles with families being served. That's what we want our hub to be, is family-centered, because when I did some research for one grant, we have so many seniors in this town that really, some of them don't have a lot. So, I mean, just to have a senior center and senior activities going on in the community. And of course, we are aligned a lot with the library too. But really the outdoors, the playscape, the trails that we have, oh shoot, I just want to put something there. Okay. The child care center. And then, as Melanie talked about, the community center and the cultural programs that go on at the farm. So that's kind of a synopsis of what we'd like the place to look like, really serving families. And as far as just some basic facts of child development, which our governmental policies, really, federal, everything, have really not kept up with, as far as educating some of those younger kids, especially a lot of the at-risk kids, which I've had plenty of experience with in my career as a teacher. But 80% of the brain develops in the first 3 years. Research shows that the children who do attend a high-quality early childhood education build strong socioeconomic, socio-emotional skills, which, believe me, there's a lot of that lacking in the classroom today, and that help navigate their relationships and conflicts throughout life, which, as employers know, that's their biggest concern. It's not the skills that somebody has, it's their attitude that may impact some issues. Another attending them is developing good cognitive skills, so we're talking about memory, problem solving, reasoning, literacy, numeracy, and decision making. And with that is the academic success in the future for them to graduate from high school and to be lifelong learners. So that is what research has told us. So what do we currently have in Pittsford? We've got 1 licensed program, and that's at Caverly. When I looked on the website for Department of Health for Pittsford, infants and toddlers, there were none. I even went through the 5 stars, and I went to no stars, and there were still none that are licensed programs. When I went to preschool, Caverly was the one that we do have. But again, that's for 4 and 5-year-olds?
3 and 4.
3, okay, so 3, yeah. So this program, the Early Childhood Center, so that is going to be for infants, toddler program 1 to 2, and then preschool 2 to 3. There'll be 4 assistant teachers, a program director, which will also be the lead teacher. We did hire an early ed consultant to help us develop this whole idea of where we're going with this. So basically, again, utilizing the resources that we have in close proximity. So we've got, the library is a big one. We've got the trails, the playscape, and we have the garden. The garden has been going on since 2018. That's been our longest running activity. We had some really good things with that, with the recreation program for the town. So basically, that's that's it in a nutshell. So that's really important to have. And again, I substitute teach. I know Dave, you're in the classroom, but it's totally, I retired 12 years ago, and believe me, there's a difference. So it's really important.
Okay, Terry? Thank you.
So I have some renderings here. I'm not sure if that's placed, but maybe just right, holding right out this way.
You see him okay, Kelly? Okay.
Shown to everybody, I'm afraid, but this being Elm Street, we're all familiar, Kamuta's is over here. Right across from Kamuta's on Elm is our Pittsford Village Farmhouse, most of which on the historic register is being maintained. It will look all the same, other than an addition off the back necessary for the size of the child care center, really, that drove things. So there'll be the driveway in front on the south side will be just pedestrian once it's developed on the site. And the main entry in will be that further entrance further down Elm, and in this way with parking in the back. And just some handicap access. And the main entry into childcare will be off of Elm Street, whereas the community center will be that bottom level with the addition out back. So looking at the first level, it's the bottom level now, is the community center. The main entry will be coming in off the back south side. Be a large room for I think it's 40 some odd people could assemble in here. It'll have a support office, administrator office, entry, a couple bathrooms, ADA accessible, and a kitchen to support the community center. The old basement will just be kept mechanical unfinished. Then on the second level that enters, the main entry is off the Elm Street, will be the full child care center development for 26 children of 3 different groups: toddlers, 8 toddlers, 10 preschool, and I think we have 8 infants with an infant sleeping room and support facilities, a kitchen, and then the front southeast corner will be the cafe with a kitchen support in the back and tables that will be on that side facing the south and on Elm Street. And then the upper level will be developed into 2-bedroom apartments. They will come in up a stair off the south side and enter through a common entry, and then a 2-bedroom apartment on the east front side on Elm Street, and then one on the back side on the west. So we're excited. The architects pretty much finalized plans to the point we're starting to engage engineers. We met a structural engineer yesterday and walked through, and we're going to get the civil engineer engaged, which is Otter Creek Engineering, who I heard earlier is doing a lot of work with the town. And so it's an exciting process. We're hoping that we can get through all of this and funding can come to the point that we have the money for construction to start in the fall of next year and build through the winter of next year.
So as a new organization in town, part of our work is making sure everybody knows what's going on there. And so this is an opportunity for us to update people that already know what we're up to, that being the board, but also a chance for you to pose any questions if you're curious about where we've gotten to this point. Mark?
I have a question. So are the kids entering off the road into the child care center? You said that was the main entrance? They're gonna come off Elm Street, or they go down back?
The kids can, their main entry will actually, they have 2 entries.
Okay.
ADA accessible entry can be off the road, and they can enter.
Okay.
Really, probably the main entry is gonna come in through that south side.
Yep.
They're coming up just 4-6 steps up and in that south side.
Do you have a target for this to be all local people doing the construction?
We certainly hope so. So far, so good, and we've had such a lot of lovely donations from Kenny and Joe's operation, the pavilion that's emerging on our site has been helped by them, and also the work on the building already, not on the building, but on the pavilion. The excavation was done by Casellas, and let's see, the Charbonneau's, Chucky Charbonneau is to put on the roof, and the other fixtures that have to happen to finish the pavilion that we got through another grant in conjunction with the library.
We hope people will be available. That's the biggest issue these days in construction.
Yeah, finding the people that are free to work.
That and the increase in the budget, that was a biggie.
Right, at one point, 3 years ago, what we have now would have done all that work. We would have gotten us to this, and now it's doubled. So, we're hoping that it'll stabilize at this point, or even go down, who knows.
In fairness, the scope of the project has expanded too. We're up to 26 children. We were less earlier. I think we were 16 or something.
Yeah.
And we've had an addition because our consultant has advised that's financially how it's going to get the return and be able to support itself. Including the apartments, that helps financially too.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful intersection of the things that federal and state funding organizations want and what we would like to do for the town. So, and also once we've got these larger grants, other grants will be coming our way. But we are quite aware we've got to have grants, we've got to have a capital campaign that brings in some money to match those grants. And a little bit comes in from the wonderful events that we've had, including the Tuesday events that we've enjoyed all the way through the last 2 summers. Anybody with any further questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, for your support.
So we have a letter of funding last week.
We do. The amount of money that we requested was $100,000.
Yeah, we have the letter.
And you have that in the piece that I know Brenda attached that I had written up for this meeting. Do people have questions about that? Just read over it and you'll see. Yeah.
I think an important thing is that most of the grant money we have received, the nearly $1 million of grant money, requires a match, 1-to-1 match.
Right.
So we really need help from ARPA and private campaign that we're about to embark upon. Otherwise, it won't work.
Yeah.
While still respecting our very clear sense that the town's money shouldn't be asked for. But when these opportunities come with money that's out there in the state, we're going to jump on it if we can, and the ARPA funds are one area where we really want it to be on your list.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Tri-Town Bike Loop.
Oh, maybe it can go right by Pittsford Village Farm.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I really appreciate you guys having us here tonight. My name's Michael. I'm the town manager in Proctor, for those who don't know me yet. Sorry, I just got a little tick when I stand up, so you gotta forgive me, it goes away for a second. Alright, so anyway, so Ethan Pippin is here, Tom Hogan's here as one of our select board members. I know a few years ago, there was an idea of having a tri-town bike path loop that connected all the towns. And we were gonna enter into a scoping study, and I think because of COVID, Proctor might have gotten hesitant on it and moved back. But I feel under, they're under new leadership now as far as staff goes. It's cleared our planning commission with approval. It's cleared the select board with approval. And what we would like to do, what the town of Proctor would like to do, is partner with Pittsford and West Rutland to partake in a scoping study so that we can just get an idea of the feasibility of a project like that. I've only been in town for about 1.5 years, but I've heard incredible things about Pittsford's volunteer force. You guys have a really strong community, and that can be shown in your trail systems that are very well maintained. So I don't think I should be here selling anything. That's kind of getting out of my lane, I believe. But I do want to come here and just say that you've got the support of Proctor to move forward on this. And I've managed many projects before from start to finish. I know how important the early stages are of stakeholder involvement. And I do see this being very successful.
And West Rutland's on board, right?
And we've heard
As
from
of now.
Marianne Goulet that she's on board. She's going to run it past her select board, but even 2 years or however long ago it was, I think they were ready to go forward with it. So Proctor is driving their economic development through outdoor recreation, so it aligns with our municipal plan. And anytime we have an opportunity to partner with our neighbors, it's an opportunity that should be taken. So Tom Hogan is here. He can speak more towards the board, and then Ethan Pippin is with the Rutland Regional Planning Commission, and he's the scoping study guru, and he's going to help us out with the application if we move forward. So I think tonight what we're going to be looking for is support from the board, maybe granting the town manager to be your representative for signing the grant for the scoping study, and probably just a letter of support, because I think the application's when, December 14th?
December 14th, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm taking your talking points, so I'll sit down. But I appreciate you letting me kind of go on as long as I did.
So I guess I don't have a ton to say, but just here to answer any questions, technical questions, and about the planning side, about the money, about sort of the process, anything that's involved with that. And also just want to take the chance to introduce myself to you all as a new transportation planner. Really happy to. I've met Brenda, I've met Melanie, and just sort of say that also one of my big priorities is bringing money from the state into our local communities in Rutland. This is one opportunity. I also worked with Melanie on a grant to hopefully get the front plaza of the school fixed up, so should be hearing about that soon. Fingers crossed. It's looking pretty good, so hopefully Melanie should have some good news on that. But, like you said, we're not here to sell anything, just answer any questions you have. So thank you.
Where actually is the loop to be?
That is what the scoping study will tell us.
There's a bunch of possible routes, and we want to go with
We
the
did
least
that a few years
invasive.
ago, didn't we, Joe? Where it was gonna come Route 3? And,
Good idea.
yeah,
Has any, research been done? Will you utilize some of the old rail beds on the west side of town?
That's a possibility.
I mean, there are rail beds that lead from Proctor all the way to Florence.
Exactly.
Whether that would be
CMP,
available
yes.
or not, that's, on the east side of town, be more difficult.
yeah.
Well, right now we have the carriage trail coming over from Rutland City and ending at the high school, the skating rink.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons we'd like to expand it a little bit. We get a lot of questions from bikers and joggers, walkers that, we come over the hill and it just ends. We'd like to go further, make a loop.
Well, with the library property that's on the southeast side of town.
Yes.
And then used to be Herbie Johnson, I don't know if it's still the Johnson family or not, but that carried you clear down to the power line by Dickerson's.
Yes, the trail goes.
I don't know if that land is still in the same family or not, but has anybody ever given that any thought, is that might be a way to get to the city?
Well, the carriage trail actually was connected, and it does go from the city to Proctor right now.
Right.
And so we're looking to go a little further.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've got the old rail bed that follows West Street there. And
Well, the rail bed is, but I'm not sure the landowners along there, what kind of grip they have on it, whether that, and it probably belonged to Vermont Marble years ago, but that may not be the case.
But I think that's what this study determines, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so then we're a little ahead of ourselves.
Well, we are ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So I guess my question, you're talking about a grant.
Yeah.
Is this a fully funded grant, or would each town have to contribute to part of the grant?
Yeah, so it requires a 20% local match, so we're looking at right now around 50,000, so I think that would be 10,000 split 3 ways between Proctor, West Rutland, and Pittsford, if approved. So around $3,300.
Okay, that was, yep.
I may be in favor of that personally, but I don't jump at the idea of asking the taxpayers to pay for some of this stuff, and that's where it may wind up. So in my mind, if it can be done and not make the people in East Pittsford pay for a trail down Proctor, I don't feel comfortable doing that. But you folks have probably given it some considerable discussion and got things figured out, I assume.
We were looking to connect with Pittsford's trail system through Florence or, one of the covered bridges, that's not up to us,
Right.
And West Rutland, we're looking, well, there's several options. East Mountain, certainly go up over, there's an old town road that connects with Durgy Hill in West Rutland and actually comes out by the radio station. There's the rail bed, but we don't know the best way to go. We certainly don't want to march through somebody's living room.
Right.
So
yeah, we've got quite a few stakeholders that are supporting the project. Some volunteers from Pine Hill Park came to the Planning Commission and talked to us. Dale Christie, the Beaver Pond Committee there did a lot of the trails around Beaver Pond, which are beautiful. Some advanced if you want to get to the top, but a lovely view if you get up there. So yeah, the point in my mind of the scoping study is so that we can kind of all get together and bang our heads around and say, well, if we wanted an ADA compliant trail, could you use this? Or if you just want to do goat paths to get to there and there, could you do this? And are you going to have trouble with that landowner and that landowner? It just really kind of fleshes out a good plan for us if we were to decide to implement something like this.
Hopefully this will be sort of a year-round usage thing as much as possible.
We don't have any rules or regulation. Pine Hill Park does. They don't like four-wheelers. Snowmobiles, they don't have a big thing against.
Run into different problems.
So, if Bass was interested in using some of it, or we were interested in using some of the Bass Trail, we wouldn't have an issue.
So you made a comment about something compliable. You used an abbreviation.
ADA, I apologize
And
about
disabilities.
that. Yeah, so for people with disabilities, like the town of Proctor is constructing a trail now that is suitable for people in wheelchairs. It's through federal funding, so it's got to be. And we're not saying that this is the type of trail we want, but if we were to go into one of these scoping study meetings and we did have a population there that did want us to look into a trail like this, it could be included inside of the scoping study. You could say, well, if that's something that's really important to the community, then there could be an opportunity to have portions of the loop that are ADA accessible.
Okay, I guess my point was, if we start looking at that, how much more expense will be on top in developing the trails after that? Have you guys done any budget for that or any thought? I mean, we're talking about a scoping study here. We're
Yeah.
not talking about
Building it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a scoping study would, pick out a path, give us a basic design.
But I mean, have you done any more work beside that? It's purely just the scoping study is all you've
Well,
done?
until we know where the trail's going.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if you had any idea what the cost is when you get to anything. It has to
that's what the study
Well, also
shows.
just
Study
say that,
tells you.
Pine Hill Park
Study
has a
tells
lot
you.
of great examples of trails in which it involves a lot of people volunteering their time to help clear trails, and people talk to local landowners, and this thing doesn't need to be like something where you hire a contractor and you bring a bunch of people in. It can really be something where sort of folks lend their time and, they talk to their neighbors and sort of work things out like that. And, that's a possibility if that's the way that people want to go. So, yeah, that's how the scoping study is sort of get everybody together and talk to your
Put the vast
communities
trail
and say,
together.
is this something people are interested in, and what do we want to look like, and what we want to devote to it in terms of, resources or effort. And that's really up to, the individual towns to decide, and what this process, I think, will help facilitate.
I mean, if it comes out $10 million, Proctor's certainly not interested.
Well, and that's one reason why I'm always kind of a proponent of doing a scoping study without any strings attached, because it does inform you very well. It informs the community, but it also, just having it sitting on the shelf for 10 years is good. I still use some of our prosperity plans in Proctor for, we're writing the VCDP grant to help Zion growers out that just purchased the Marble Museum building. I was able to pull a scoping study off the shelf. That's 6 years old, but speaks very clearly, actually so clearly, that it talks about manufacturing hemp in the building. I don't know what the chances of that are, but so these things do become useful, over time.
And I will say also, just to that, if there is a decision that they want to spend money on it, a scoping study can really help you get money from the state in terms of other grants, because I know, like, pretty much every time you apply for these things, they want to say, have you done a study? That you have a document where you can show us that says, here's what we're going to do, and here's what the potential costs are, and all these things. So that can be it's a little bit upfront, but if it ends up securing a lot of money down the line, I think that can be one advantage.
So are you looking for a commitment from us tonight on this, or what is what's the timeline? Because you said Goulette has approved it herself, but that select board, she hasn't brought it to him yet, so you don't know on West Rutland yet either.
No, we don't, and we're just building pieces of support here to make sure that that we're not putting the cart ahead of the horse. So, Ethan, I don't know how, you said it's not the most difficult application to submit, correct? So.
Yeah, as far as the actual filling out of the application, I don't think it's an issue. My only concern is just folks feeling like they're rushed into making a decision. So the grant would have to be due on the 14th, and I think West Rutland is scheduled to talk about it on the 12th, so it's pretty tight.
Oh, okay, so that's, all right, so that's
If we were to submit to this deadline, it would require, I think, form approval from all three boards. I think Proctor's already given theirs. That said, if it's something that people are interested in, but they don't feel comfortable rushing into it right away, this grant is offered next year as well. So that is a potential opportunity, but that's up for your guys' decision.
So that would basically put it off a whole year?
Yeah. So that would, put the timeline back a year, but.
And I wish we knew what West Rutland was gonna do.
Well, we can do ours contingent on West Rutland, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the idea of Proctor at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think we would do it alone.
Right, unless all three towns are going in.
We allocate a very specific amount of money every year for grant writing and economic development. So if it gets above $3,333, we're going to be probably reassessing.
I will say also, I think it is a little rushed, but the only reason at least I felt comfortable at least giving it a shot was because it had been proposed, I think, and approved previously.
We did in the past.
So,
did we approve it years ago?
Yeah. Then we approved to do it, but I don't remember the outcome. Do you, Joe? We did that. We did this about 3-4 years ago.
With Proctor?
Proctor backed out.
Maybe
they
we
backed out. Proctor backed out. We were ready to go.
I believe we dropped the ball, but
Proctor did. So now they're in. So we did approve it back then, and continued on Proctor, then it went away. So I don't know.
I'll make a motion to approve this contingent on West Rutland's approval.
I'd second that motion.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 That should help them get
Alright.
the.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank
If
you.
someone says no, then it's
Try again next year, I guess.
my door's always open, so please feel free to reach out to me if you have any projects, and we're looking to get some money out of the state.
All right.
Thank you.
Take it out of the state. That's what I'm saying.
Stainless steel, when I get some of it,
That's not a good attitude. Don't need to send any more to the state.
That's already Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
It is already there.
Peter doing
Mark.
prayer.
He's right.
The only way we get it back.
Hey, I probably won't get to do this much, so it was a real pleasure.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
Nice.
All right, so we,
Getting back a few dollars.
Couldn't hear any of that furnace running.
oh, really?
Oh, it was like an echo chamber.
Encroachment permit. I saw that, but I don't,
Yeah, I don't
what are they
remember
looking
it.
for? You signed it.
I know I did, but I don't.
Is it encroachment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just,
They wanna go,
Oh, that's,
Right
Fairy Hill.
away to allow Sun Common to construct and access
Yeah.
or make changes, including not limited to signs and fences in accordance with Vermont Department of Highway standards to serve the applicant's property lot 1220, north side of Creed Hill.
Creed Hill, yeah.
is that for the solar field in the pit? That's
No.
going into the,
No,
No, it's a private home. They're putting a couple panels, big solar, I'm assuming like what's
Yeah,
on
Creed
Pine Hill
Hill, there you
Road
go.
now. It looks big. Across the road from
see
their
that
house.
apparently.
And,
You gotta check them out.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Solar panels,
Where?
right at the corner of Pines with the roofs of it.
I didn't see
Pine Woods
those.
Road
How did
now.
I not see those?
They just went up
The
yesterday.
the towers are up, the panels aren't on it yet.
Yeah, that just, I saw them
Pine Woods and
yesterday.
Route 7, like right down here?
Right down here, yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
I
well,
only go
when it's
through there in
dark,
the
you
dark
can't
this
miss it.
time of year, so.
Anyways, this is Creed Hill, a homeowner. They,
D-Rock, right?
no, next to his property.
Oh, okay.
They just want to bore under the road, the power line.
Oh,
Okay,
So that's why, yeah, I did sign that. That
okay.
was like a month ago when they wanted to do it, so.
okay.
That's no big.
Yeah, I'd forgotten when,
That's all right.
what it exactly
Yeah.
was there.
All right, well,
But yeah, I have no
So
problem
they're
with
just
that.
line boring under the road? Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
just one year.
As long as they dig their pits far enough
just
away
the
from the road on
chairperson.
each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass it down.
Yeah, it's a gravel road, so it's not like.
Need to sign this?
No, you
Ain't under
don't.
nothing.
so no, when I'm the only one signing this, the neighbors, when they see those ugly panels go up, are gonna come after me, right?
They're,
So that's,
they're actually hidden. It won't
Okay.
be as,
so it says
Those
it's
over there
1,000
will be
feet
pretty
off
visible.
Oxbow? That's what that description is?
yeah, it's on Creed Hill. It's about 1,000 feet down. It's,
But the Oxbow and a Creed, right?
Scarcella used to own the property.
I don't remember the solar panels on Pine
House
Woods.
is on.
Yeah, on the left.
There,
garage
there,
on the
Left,
right.
little garage on the right.
I say, I don't remember us-
As you go up the hill, is that what you're saying, or?
Well, I don't think we, because it's a homeowner deal.
Homeowner, okay.
Small enough.
Yeah, once,
Oh, 'cause
Before you get to
Right before you get to Doc's Meadow, is that?
Right there in the corner.
So before David Barnes.
The house, the mechanical, the guy, the mechanical services house,
No, it's right there
It
where
turns
all the
the
junk, right? Right out
blacktop,
on
the
wood.
dirt,
the which one?
up there,
wood and
what,
stuff.
another
I think right there. That
300
could
yards?
Oh, where D-Rock's
on the
making
left.
the mess?
And the
Oh, right
White
there,
House
right
sits,
there, I think,
Scarcella's
yeah.
house sits on the left.
Oh.
And
That's
there's a
on the
little garage
dark
that
last
sits on the
night. I
right.
think that's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
'Cause my wife
Right
said,
there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Other side.
That, yeah, the lot that the panels are on goes with their garage that's there.
Yeah.
That Blanchard subdivided.
Oh, so it's
Oh, yeah,
Hathaway's
yeah, yeah,
old
yeah.
house?
Yeah.
That lot?
Garage.
Well, they're really close to the road.
oh yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Well, he's got all that mess of wood and
That's,
got all dug up.
that's the other property. That's a separate property.
It's all right there. but it's all
Oh, so it's
there.
between the S-hole and
Yep.
Hathaway's garage? That
Garage,
junk?
barn.
Okay.
Yeah, a nice, beautiful.
Nice lot, yeah.
It wasn't,
Really
yeah,
nice.
it was. Nice lot.
Nice land, yeah.
He's draining
Perfect
it.
wide open for.
Yeah, he's draining the
Like
water,
it's
yeah. Boy,
Whatever.
what a-
Trying to go. Gotta
I
finish
have to
the,
be
still gotta do
careful,
budget
the
discussion.
mic's on.
Okay, so do we have to
I don't,
vote on that or anything? No, just
I think that's
Alicia
just-
signing it? Okay.
Yeah, that's hers, I guess. Yeah, that was just the,
oh, I guess I
front
could
of
be
the
looking
thing,
for my
right?
budget thing then while we're waiting for her
Yeah.
to come back.
oh, she just did this one.
All right, so did we, all right, so this agenda still has a bunch of stuff.
Oh, you don't have the amended one, that's why. We're done, except
done?
for, budget discussions.
Okay, all right. So the reclassifications of roads,
I have
speed
my
limit
other stuff.
posting, and Veterans Memorial
Unless you
are
want to
all
add
off.
my other
Okay.
stuff back in.
Oh, never
I don't even remember
mind.
what we scratched off.
Yeah. You're done for a while.
Speed limits and.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have 3 executives tonight, so we'll save that for next.
No.
So did you get a copy of this, Alicia?
Been that way forever.
This one that I got?
I guess not, because I went through this packet 3 times, because she had mentioned
was
something about the
solo,
library
kind of
budget. I was
middle of
looking for it.
everything.
This one.
Okay, well, library
get
wasn't
it?
even on there. I did see that then somewhere.
Yeah, I got one.
Well, welcome to the packet, right? No, it's just summaries, but
Well, we need to see more than summaries, so we can see stuff that we can or cannot cut.
I guess that's why I was confused. I was expecting to see it went from this to this.
yeah.
It's just a bunch of
That's
new
all-
numbers?
that's all- Yeah, after I spoke, I looked and I found one page.
Okay, that's
so.
not helpful. But then I still don't have it. I don't know where mine is.
I think she might be copying some right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have one for some reason.
So, one thing I don't see in revenues is we see property taxes. I don't see anything for that personal property tax. Is that included in property taxes?
I would
That
think
was
it
a
would be
question we
separate.
asked last time.
It should be pulled out so we can see what it is, right?
We talked about that, remember? A couple meetings ago?
Did you make more copies of that, Brenda? Did you have more copies of that? I don't have one. But yeah, I've been through this 100 times.
Well, having not been through this with you guys, I don't know what, I mean, I thought there were gonna be like separate sessions just for the budget. I didn't realize that we were always gonna be doing
Oh
it
yeah,
in the
every
middle of
meeting.
the meetings.
Every meeting till
And
January.
then I don't know what level of detail you want at each time we meet, like what was
So,
cut or
not
changed.
basic, I mean, the way John would've done it, this would've been, we would've gotten the same exact thing 5 times with different numbers.
5 times?
Yeah, 5 or 6, we go through 5 or 6 before we adopted agenda? Or, I mean,
Oh, you mean
a budget?
before the end?
Before the end.
Before the end,
Yeah.
Are you the only one that needs one?
I guess
I got
so.
one.
I guess
I
I'm
got
the only
one.
one that lost mine.
If you look hard enough, you'll probably
Right.
find it.
I was done flipping through.
A lot of paper.
I know. Oh, thank you.
No, on the end.
Oh, that's what that is?
I don't know, but I'm guessing
Okay,
by the amount of
okay.
it.
Yep, thank you.
That makes sense to you.
Yeah. So I know we'll be discussing at this next meeting, but some of the speed limits that Chad was asking about, is that an issue where you guys are pulling people over on those roads, or you can't because there's no speed? Okay.
Or,
Yeah, okay.
the judges are getting really sticklers.
Yep.
And if the ordinance has something in it that's not correct, or it's not notarized correctly, they're throwing out the tickets.
Okay.
But the weight one was our most important. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys finalized that.
Yeah, we did. I know, because those are usually pretty hefty
Yeah.
fines,
Yeah.
The
right?
judge literally goes online and looks up our ordinance.
No, we supply them.
We supply them.
We have to
To them?
supply them every month.
Oh.
Are other towns following up, doing the same thing pretty much, or is it?
Well, we went through this with Chittenden last year. Yeah, it's.
Thank you.
They're starting to.
We deal with drawing logs, and that's heavy, and, but towns pretty much all have permits available, so if you do your best and get your permits in order and stuff, it's the best you can do.
Yeah, as long as you don't go over 99,000 pounds, right? As long as you don't go over the 99,000 pound limit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, then that's, Route 7 or 89, doesn't matter. That's the limit.
That's right.
Those trucks all leave at 2 in the morning.
Wow.
I see Joe out early. I see him leaving. I know, he's a little, I see him once in a while.
The problem is the trucks and the loads have got heavier over the last 50 years. A lot heavier.
Yep.
But most of your roads have been upgraded a lot too.
But your truck don't weigh 12 ton, truck and trailer.
Empty?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 17, 18 ton.
Okay, well, you're honest. But they tell you, oh, put a big sleeper on it. Oh, I only weigh 12 ton. No, you don't.
No.
No, you don't. No, you. And one of those refrigerated
If the
units.
sleeper's full of helium, probably.
Yeah. Well, we've had some sleepers being left under the trestle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On their own.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't really want to leave it.
Oh, there's by the turnaround past my place, somebody left you a bumper and stuff there.
All right.
Was the plate
Just
still on
letting you
it?
know. I don't know, I didn't see that.
Grab
So,
that tomorrow then.
If in case there's snow, when you back in there, you'll
Yeah.
back over it, so you might want to pick it up.
Grab
Unless
it
somebody's seen it and needed it, and then they'll
Cut
pick
a
it up.
tire.
But it's been there a couple days.
Even your school buses, your milk
Did you find
truck,
any of that?
ain't bringing many milk trucks anymore, but
So
your
Lisa,
highway truck, your tandems, once you
Yes.
got a load of sand, the sander and the snow plows, you know what they weigh there, I'm sure they're up there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have to be, it's all iron.
Illegal though, but it is.
So you're not gonna,
so the only question I had for Brenda was under the police department, on the general fund revenues, the projected with 3% payroll was a higher revenue than what we had on the projected with 8.5,
but see
which I don't understand.
so the only thing, when this was built, the projection for the 8.5% only impacts payroll, not the whole column.
It shouldn't do anything with the revenue, right? That's money coming in,
Yeah.
right? So it should be one or the other, or I
But
don't.
it's not, so what I'm saying though is that it has nothing to do with the 8.5%.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's my point.
So it's
It should be
reduced revenue.
probably the same, right? Should be the same.
Yeah. I still don't like it. I'm gonna
Could
look
be.
into it.
Can't be two different numbers,
Yep.
because that doesn't really affect it.
I'll look at it.
Yep.
I agree with you.
And what's under management expense, under general fund expenses? I see, we got a 15% overall management expense up. Is that just under payroll, or what is
No,
that?
that has to do with, the, medical. On my budget.
Oh, so that's, well, that's
The
health,
medical went
there's
up.
health and, okay, that's
Yeah,
health
it's all
insurance.
included in that.
Alright.
So when you're looking under the general fund expenses, those are like each department.
Okay,
So under the management expense, the reason that's up so high is that last year, you guys had no budget at all really for the assistant for medical. There wasn't any.
that's the addition of the medical insurance for our assistant.
It is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and it's
Okay,
the increase on top of that.
okay.
And taxes, the other taxes too.
So, and where's the library? You just have everything under appropriations, all lumped in?
Expense or revenue?
Expense.
Yeah, expense.
We don't get
It's
any revenue
everything.
from the
Yeah, it's
library.
everything. It's their budget, it's their whole budget.
Sorry? The library's, our library's not a municipal library, so it's just an appropriations. We don't need to worry about what their budget is. Because it's like 40,000 less, so I'm just wondering where you cut from special appropriations. It's not delineated.
Probably need a little more detail.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
we might
there's
have to
not-
have another meeting where this is really, so we can compare
All right.
and have it has to all be really clearly.
I think, yeah, the next time I do this, I'm just gonna put all the details with all notes.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just,
that
I mean,
isn't
we need to
even
have,
gonna-
even just have everything separated out. I mean, we can't just have like all appropriations can't be, it can't just, all this stuff can't be lumped in.
So I can send you that, like, quickly, within a few days.
We're gonna end up having to have a special meeting.
We're gonna, I know, we're gonna have to start meeting like every week instead of twice a month.
All right, so I don't understand this, planning commission expense. Okay, 21, 22 actual was $3,700 roughly. Their budget, for whatever reason, is 6,400. 2023 projected is 6,200, which is almost twice what their actual was from before, yet they're down 3%. That makes no sense whatsoever to me unless I just don't understand any of this.
Last year's budget was 6,400.
Yeah.
So this year's budget was reduced by $200.
That's correct.
Oh, okay, all
That's
right.
correct.
So that part is down to 3%.
But they only used 3,700.
Right.
That's because somebody was
Right.
managing it very, very well, David.
Well, no, I'm just, well, no, but that's fine, so, I mean, there's some.
Obviously gotten out of control.
Obviously, we could cut that one,
We could've,
cut that down to
let's
4,000.
see, I was chair when it was out of control, okay, yeah, cause when I was in there, it was, well, no, this doesn't go back that far.
They might be planning for a little more legal, or that's what they probably
Yeah.
went up for.
Planned
'Cause we
for,
We
okay.
ran thin. We didn't have Gary in there
Yeah,
hardly at all.
I know, because there's a lot of things that, the numbers are lowered, but doesn't explain why and where exactly it's coming from any.
Okay.
That's important to see.
All right. You want me to just print it off now? Want me to do that? I mean, you can you can move on with your session.
Yeah.
I can leave and
We'll
just produce those.
all right, so let me throw this out to us.
Yeah.
We got Mike here. Should we have her print out the police budget? We sit down with
we'll
him,
go
see
over
what
that.
we can do with it and try
Yeah.
to get that finalized.
That one
Would
done.
that make,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
one
you
of the
guys
ones
mind hanging around for a few minutes
No.
to at least do that?
That's
We
fine.
got- And,
Well, that's the one that's got the biggest drops,
Yeah,
so
that's
that's why I
got-
wanna know where your cut,
well, no,
what cuts did you
well, no,
make?
exactly, this is, so can you print out the police thing for us,
The police
Brenda?
didn't have a drop though, they had an increase of 12%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it didn't drop.
Yeah.
No, when I
On
had to
their
go home, I
expenses.
bring my damn book.
This is the one you just gave me, right?
Right
Yep,
here.
it's up
The one that we,
12.41.
how come initially 387 and now this one says 268?
Where'd you find 387?
The one we got, this
Oh,
was
in
our,
there?
She's looking in there.
Oh, in there.
this was the first one we got.
Again,
I know,
it's too confusing this way. We need to do it each department so we can see and see what we have to do.
That will be done in executive session or open session?
Budget is an open session.
Open session, we can discuss,
budget, yeah.
Your budget,
Your
that's
budget's
open
open
session.
session.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what we've always done.
I think I'm gonna agree with Tom. I think we're probably gonna have to have a special session to
I've
sit down.
said that right
got to.
along.
Honestly,
It's too much to do in a meeting like that. I've said that right along.
Yeah, we'll be here till
Yeah, Tom, I gotta agree with you on that, because I think I'd like.
I'm ready to go home anyways,
I
guys,
don't wanna
so
guess.
this better be moving on, because I sat here about an hour longer than I should have,
Back here,
and I'm about ready to leave, so.
Well, I think we need to go through all the,
Wait, where
we
you
need to
gotta
have the
go?
numbers redone.
I gotta go
in our
home.
books,
Oh.
And we gotta sit down with what we're
Been
doing.
paying for a week and a half.
Oh, have you?
Oh.
Yeah,
I'd
no,
rather
I
have
mean,
it-
and I
no
just
idea.
thought Mike's sitting here, we could do the police tonight and get it, but if you guys don't want to, that's fine. I just thought it was,
I can come back another night too with that.
okay, maybe that's what we should, because it is getting late.
See you, Chad.
See you, Chad. See you later.
See you, Chad.
Yeah.
I think that's a better idea, because
I
then we
know,
can,
so-
don't have anything else going on. I gotta agree with you, that's a better way to do
All right.
it.
Even if it's an
Yeah.
afternoon, you know, I
But
don't,
No, it's
budgets
fine.
really need
So,
our full
well, just so
concept.
everybody else can go home, we're wrapping up then the, open part of our
Let me
meeting and we'll
tell
get
let me
ready for
tell her that, so
executive.
she's not.